guest. Today I'm interviewing with Miss Valerie Tripp, founder of American Girl Doll. Hi.
Hi, Nicole. It's nice to meet you today.
So I have some questions and let's get started.
Okay.
How did you get the courage to start a company?
Well, I was working with my friend who had a very nice name. Her name is Pleasant Roland. Isn't that a nice name? Pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
And we were writing stories for children to help them learn how to read. And when we were writing those stories, we talked about the stories and the toys that we loved when we were growing up. And Pleasant has two sisters, and I have three sisters. So we talked a lot about how much fun it was to grow up in a house full of girls and toys. And so then we thought, we should write stories about girls who lived in different times of history and then have dolls that go along with those stories, and then have clothes for the dolls and furniture for the dolls. So it really all came out of this desire to make childhood fun for girls as they were growing up, and to sort of along the way let them know what it would have been like for them if they had lived in a different period of history. So it came from that desire.
Wonderful. Next question. Wonderful. Next question. How did you begin your company?
First, I remember one wonderful day, we went to a toy store, Nicole, and we bought all the dolls in the store. I think we must have bought at least 15 dolls. And then we took those dolls around to elementary schools, and we asked the girls in the elementary schools, which doll do you like the best? And they all liked the ones that looked like that we turned into the American Girl dolls, 18 inches tall. They really liked those dolls. And they said, please be sure that the dolls have hair that you can play with, and be sure that their eyes open and shut, and be sure they have a soft body. And so we started by asking girls what they liked, and going around to schools and talking to them about the kind of things they like to play with, and talking to their moms. And we took all of those good ideas. So that's really how it started at the beginning. And then actually too, it only started with three characters. It only started with Molly, who lived at the time of World War II, and Samantha, who lived at the turn of the last century, and Kirsten, whose story is a story about immigration. So we just started with those three. And to tell you the truth, Nicole, I never, ever, ever guessed that it would grow so big, that the company would grow so big. I really didn't. It was a surprise, a nice surprise.
Mm-hmm. I really like Molly the best. She really is. I like her because I also wear glasses too, so it's not that bad.
Yes, I wear glasses too, and I always liked writing about the stories about Molly because she's very funny. She makes mistakes. We all make mistakes, and she makes mistakes. She's very funny, so I always enjoy writing about Molly.
Okay, next question. How did you get so good at selling your products?
Well, I think it's less a matter of being good at selling things than it is a matter of just really respecting the girls we were making them for. And we always made everything of very good quality, and we wrote the stories with a lot of respect for our readers in mind. And I especially loved, I still do, when schools were open, I would visit schools and talk to brownies and Girl Scouts, and go to church groups and libraries and book groups, and talk to the girls and learn what kinds of stories they like. So I think it wasn't so much that we were good at selling things. We were just good at making things, being sure we were making things that girls were really going to connect to, and that the girls knew these are good, these aren't something that are going to break or anything like that. We just really respected the girls we made the toys and the books for.
I really understand because I was actually a Girl Scout too, so I really understand that.
And were you a brownie also?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And my little girl was a brownie and a Girl Scout. I learned a lot from Girl Scouts. That's where I learned to sew. And that's where I learned to identify like leaves on trees and birds. I learned a lot. I'm grateful to Girl Scouts. I learned a lot from them.
Me too. Anyway, next question. Why did you name the name your dolls the names that they have?
Oh, that's such a good question. That's such a good question. Well, you know how they live in different periods of history? Sometimes, like Felicity lived more than 250 years ago, and then Mary Ellen, the character I just finished writing about, lived in 1950. So I chose names. Here's what I would do. I would do research and find out what was a very popular name for girls to have during the time that that character lived. And so we would, like, for example, for Felicity, also, I wanted her name to let you know what she's like. Felicity means happiness, and her last name is Merriman. So, oh, she's a happy girl. She's a happy girl. And Josefina, who lived in New Mexico, I wanted her name to be a name that sounded Spanish, Josefina. And with Mary Ellen, I wanted a name that a lot of girls had in the 1950s. So the names come from partly to let you know when the character lived, partly to let you know, for example, in Josefina's case, where she lived, and also partly to let you know what kind of girl she was. Is she a happy girl? Is she a serious girl? Is she a funny girl? The name is supposed to help you know about that. Oh, do you know Kit? Do you know the character Kit with the blonde hair? She lives at the time of the Great Depression. And I named her Kit because she had to be ready for everything. A lot of things happened to Kit. And you know how you have like a sewing kit or a first aid kit or a mess kit? So a kit is something that you have with you to be ready for no matter what happens. So I thought that was a good name for that character because of what is going on in her life. That's a really good question. Thank you for asking that. And by the way, I love the name Nicole. That's a beautiful name.
Thank you. Next question. How do you create demand for dolls in 2020?
How do we come up with the characters who live now? Yeah, that's a challenge, isn't it? Because you have to know what girls are doing now. So one of the things I do, Nicole, is, or I did until school closed down because of the virus, I had a group of girls I called my lunch bunch, and I would go and have lunch with these girls, and I would ask them, what's going on in school for you, and what's something that you worried about a little bit, what's turned out to be very fun, what expression do you use when you're very happy about something, what music are you listening to, what clothes do you like to wear. So I would try to find out from girls living in 2020 the things that they were enjoying right now, so that when I wrote about a character, or if someone wrote about a character living right now, the girls who were reading it would say, oh yeah, I like that music too, or I like that movie too, or I like that, those clothes too. So I think you would probably just call that research, but it didn't feel like hard work at all because it was so much fun to have lunch with these girls. We would always have a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Next question. What part of the country do your products sell best?
That's a very good question. As you know, there are a lot of stores. There are American Girl stores in a lot of different parts of the country. And so some of the stores are in very big cities. So a lot of things get sold where there are lots of people living in a big city. So a place like New York or Los Angeles, a lot of things are sold there. But here's an interesting thing. What state do you live in?
I live in Belcamp/Baltimore, but mostly Maryland.
In Maryland, yeah, me too, me too. So a lot of I get letters from girls who read the stories and play with the dolls and everything. And I got a lot of letters from girls in Maryland, and they always give me good ideas. They ask me questions just like you are, and they give me very good ideas. And then I get a lot of letters from girls who live in Florida and Texas. Lots of letters from Florida and Texas and Ohio.
I can understand because my friend moved from my school to Texas, so those,
Oh, did she? Oh, you must miss her.
I miss her a lot. We had a sleepover once.
Oh, that's so nice. Well, maybe you can Zoom with her. You know, you could see her, talk to her on Zoom.
Yeah, but we can't really find her number, so we can't do it.
Yeah, that's hard. That's really hard. I know I have a friend I miss very, very much. It's very hard not to see our friends now, isn't it? It's very,
Mhm.
when they move, it's very hard.
Especially with this virus going around. Like
I
anything can happen and we wouldn't even know it.
I know, you're so right. You're so right. It's really, all of us have to sort of sacrifice, don't we? You know, my daughter and her husband live all the way in Colorado, and they just moved into a new house this week. And I would love to go visit their house, but we can't go. We can't.
Because of COVID, all the planes are closed down and stuff, so we can't.
We can't. So she and I talk on the phone, and sometimes she'll carry her laptop around so I can see her new house. But I miss her. Yeah, it's hard to be far away from people we love, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Nicole, I think you have a very big heart. I think you're a very loving girl. I think you're someone who, really cares about people. I can tell by your questions. Very thoughtful.
Yeah. So next one, do you like cake or cookies?
Oh, that's a very hard question. I thought a long time about this question when I read the questions before. And I think I think when I was younger, when I was a kid growing up, I would have said cake because I like birthday cake. But I think now that I'm grown up, I think I would have to say cookies.
True. Same here.
What kind of cookie do you like the best?
I like a lot of cookies. That's just a really hard question. I like so many cookies.
Well, if I told you how many hundreds of batches of chocolate chip cookies I have made trying to figure out the very best way to make a chocolate chip cookie. Just, more chips or more butter or more flour, just hundreds and hundreds because my husband and I both love chocolate chip cookies. I like it when they're warm and the chips are kind of melty. So I think the answer to your question is definitely cookies, but then I would have a hard time saying what's my favorite cookie.
Me too.
But it's very fun to try to find out, isn't it? Because then you get to try a lot of cookies.
So the next question is, do you like animals? If so, what is your favorite?
I do like animals very, very much. And I think dogs are my favorite. Now, my dog right now is visiting my daughter, but I do like dogs. And I can tell that you like dogs too, because you have
I
your,
like dogs, cats, and bunnies.
oh, I love bunnies. I love bunnies. Every once in a while, if I'm very quiet, when I'm outside, I can see a bunny in our yard. Every once in a while, they're very shy. They're awful cute, aren't they?
I literally saw two bunnies a few days ago. It was like a bunny battle.
So cute. Were they kind of brown with a white tail, or yeah, ours are sort of brown. And they're very shy and they're very fast. So I have to be very quiet and sit very still. And you can watch them eating the grass. And then as soon as they see me, they hop away. But they're very, very cute. But I think definitely my favorite kind of animal is a dog
Me
because they're so
too.
friendly and they love you. They just love you. All they want is, your attention and affection, and they're so funny.
And they love to help you out in the nicest ways too.
They do. They do. I think dogs' brains must be very, very interesting because they do help us out. My dog used to be able to tell when I was worried about something. I'm just sure he could tell when I was worried about things, and then he would kind of, hang around to be sure I was okay. I
Mhm.
I think dogs are, I think they pick up on our emotions, don't you? I
Yeah,
think,
it's like a dog's
yeah,
intelligence has that kind of power that can tell what humans are thinking and saying.
I think so. I think so. They foresee things. And then of course it's very funny when a dog has done something wrong.
True.
Have that look on their face like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't I didn't mean to do that, but I just had to get on the couch. I know I'm not supposed to."
They're like, I'm sorry. I really am sorry, but I really just want to get on the couch.
One Thanksgiving, we had turkey, and then we're cleaning up the kitchen, and we had some leftover turkey on a plate and everything. We went for a walk, and we came back. Guess who had eaten all of the turkey off the plate?
The doggy.
And he looked so sorry, but he just couldn't resist. It was just too delicious.
Yeah, that's the one thing dogs can't resist. A bone or a whole bunch of meat.
A whole bunch of meat. I know. You know what I've always thought would be fun? I've never done. I've always thought it would be fun to have two dogs at the same time. I always thought that would be pretty cute. Our house isn't really big enough to handle two dogs, but I've always thought that would be sort of fun because then they would play with each other and it'd be fun to watch and they would keep each other company. I've
Mhm.
always thought that would be fun. If you could have any kind of dog, is there one kind of dog that you like the best?
I actually really love all the dogs the way they are.
Me too. I do too, really. They are, and they're different. They
Mhm.
have different personalities and everything. But yeah, I agree with you. I would have a hard time saying which that was just one kind that I like the best.
True. I always really wanted a pet again because my pet fish died when I was like, I don't really remember, but it was like
Mhm.
I missed Goldie.
Yeah, we used to have fish too. And my daughter was a little girl. We had fish, and it was really fun to watch them. And we would make up stories about them, and feed them and clean the tank and everything. Yeah, they were so beautiful too. They were very beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and I both like animals, I think.
Mhm.
Maybe when you grow up, you could work with animals. Would you like to do that?
Yeah. I always wanted to be a veterinarian
Yeah.
and a teacher.
Well, that's a good combination, actually. That's a good combination. And of course, I think veterinarians also have to teach the people who take care of dogs. Sometimes they have to teach people how to train the dog. And of course, they have to teach the dog too. That's a good combination, a teacher and a veterinarian.
That's really true.
Gosh, that'd be so much fun, Nicole. Then you would see animals every day. People would bring you their kittens and their birds and their fish and their bunnies and their dogs. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That would be very fun. That would be very fun.
Okay. Number 9. Do you believe in rainbows?
I certainly do. I certainly do. When I was doing the research to write the stories about Josefina, she lives in New Mexico. So my husband and my daughter and I went to New Mexico many, many, many times, especially during the summer. And in New Mexico, they have the most wonderful rainbows. Sometimes they'll have a double rainbow. So there'll be one arc and then underneath that another arch. Yes, I love rainbows. I love rainbows. And they're kind of magic, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
They're kind of magic because they just appear and you're lucky if you see one and then they go away and they have the colors in them, all the colors in them. And yeah, they're unpredictable and they're a little bit, you can't touch them or anything.
Yeah.
They're kind of magical. They're kind of magical. And there they are. They just appear. That's very, yeah, that's true. We have good rainbows in Maryland. We have pretty good rainbows here too.
Mhm. One
Yeah.
time I saw a rainbow when we were coming home. It was really beautiful.
Uh,
It was also one when we were got home. It was so pretty.
was it the whole arc? Sometimes I see just parts of them, but it's nice when you see the whole big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. And then I think, isn't there a way that you can remember the names of the colors? It's like Roy G. Biv, and that stands for, oh, I'm not sure what the R stands for, but it's a way to orange, yellow, blue, indigo, violet, red, I guess. Yeah, it tells you the first letter of the colors in the rainbow. Yeah. Do you like to draw? Do you like to draw rainbows?
I actually have a lot of drawings, really.
Oh, you do?
Uh-huh.
That's great. That's
I
great.
can show you some of them if
I'd
you
love to see them. I would love to see them.
like. They're literally from my book.
Oh, from your book. Oh, nice. When my daughter was your age, she used to like to draw rainbows a lot. She would draw rainbows. I think because I used all the colors. Yeah, she liked to do that.
So this is what I tried like when I was like 3 years old.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. That's a wonderful girl. Does she
Yeah.
have something over her head?
That's
Is,
like her mini headband.
oh, that's great. That's great. And I like her outfit. It's very cute.
Mhm. Hold on, one sec. And this is what I draw like now.
Oh, wow. Way more sophisticated. Well, you know, the other one has a rainbow skirt, doesn't she?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, a rainbow skirt. Can I see them again?
And there's this one. I did it just
Ooh. Oh, that's beautiful.
Mhm.
Wow. Ooh, that's just wonderful. I love the night scene.
Me too.
So well, I'm not good at drawing. So Nicole, do you get I've always been curious about this because you are an artist. Do you get the idea in your head first? And then, yeah, you get the idea and then you do the picture. That's wonderful.
Depends on what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Like, I was feeling really happy to stay, so
Mhm.
I decided to draw nice and happy.
I love it. The colors are happy. Everything's happy. That's great. That's
That's the school angel.
yes, a school angel. That's
Mhm.
great. That's great. And so now I hope you're taking good care of all your pictures. You're going to save them, right?
And
Good, good.
this one is the opposite, like opposites attract.
Yes. Oh, look at the colors you've used there. I love that combination of colors. That's
And this one's in between.
in between. Yes. I love her skirt. I wish I had a skirt like that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, those are really good. So do you keep them in an album or do you take pictures of them? So you preserve them. That's good. That's good. Because isn't it fun to look back at the one that you did when you were little and you think, oh, you know, that was good. That was good for when I was so little. Yeah. I like to keep I keep the drawings and notes and things that my daughter wrote to me when she was little. It's really fun to go back and look at those.
Okay.
Well, congratulations. Promise me you'll keep on drawing. Don't stop drawing because you really have a gift there.
Okay.
It's a great thing to.
Last question. Would you like to share anything else before we continue?
Well, I think what I would like to say is a big thank you to you and your mom because um, if I had to say the hardest part of the pandemic and the virus, it's that um, I think we all get a little lonely, you know, that because we can't go see our friends and we can't I like to go to plays and movies and concerts. You can't do that or restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel as though you and I got to be friends today. And I'm really grateful to you because it was very generous of you to, call and spend this time together. So I think the most important thing I want to say to you is thank you very much. And I hope we can talk again sometime because I really enjoyed our conversation.
No
Thank you.
problem.
Thank you.
No problem. Well, I hope you have a nice day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you again. Bye.
No problem.
I'm sending you a kiss.
Angie. Say bye bye.
Angie. Bye, Angie. What a cute little face she has. Bye, Angie. I see two angels on the screen right now, you and Angie Nicole. Bye bye.